McGeeTV.
Welcome back, McGeeTV viewers. I recently downloaded the demo for Octopath Traveler, a Nintendo Switch exclusive by game developer Acquire, published by the legendary Japanese role-playing game company Square-Enix. As a longtime player of classic JRPGs, I felt hyped after seeing footage of the game and trailers prior to the release of the Nintendo Switch. I have spent countless hours playing Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and other JRPG games during the 16-bit and 32-bit eras. In particular, the blend of 3D models and 2D sprites caught my eye. Another thing that caught my eye was the unusual working title for the game, Octopath Traveler. Octopath Traveler opens with the choice of playing 8 different characters featuring 8 unique stories with branching and intersecting paths. The demo allows you to choose between 2 heroes, a dancer named Primrose and a knight named Ulbrich. Both options introduce you to the character's backstory through non-playable cutscenes before allowing you to explore your surroundings. Unlike most old-school RPGs, character dialogue is spoken by voice actors. Your selected character interacts with NPCs with both written text and in some cases recorded dialogue. Your hero is not a mute protagonist as in the RPGs of yesteryear. Like most standard JRPGs, Octopath Traveler is a near top-down perspective game with 2D sprites. The camera angle is not quite top-down, allowing for the 3D textures to pop out. This is a very visually impressive game. While not the first game to blend 2D sprites with 3D backgrounds and use dynamic lighting effects, the Unreal Engine 4 truly shines with eye-popping visuals. Reflections in rippling water, shadows moving on dimly lit caverns, and clouds of sand in the desert all demonstrate a high degree of graphical polish. This is a beautiful game. As mentioned earlier, your character of choice interacts with non-playable characters by walking up to them and engaging them in conversation. Most NPCs speak through text and text boxes, although some will feature a line from a voice actor that conveys the gist of the message without reading the actual text. For instance, the Traveler vocally says, "Well met," while his text box reads, "Care to save a record of what you've done?" The Traveler, a man in a green hat, appears in many places throughout the game. He serves as the only way to save your game. This is very much an old school touch as many newer, especially Western RPGs feature the ability to save at any time. While some may view this as a throwback, I appreciate the feeling of the need to save before entering a dungeon. I feel that it creates a sense of trepidation that adds to the tension of exploring a dark cave or tomb. In the long-standing tradition of RPGs, the game features ends for resting and restoring character stats. In the demo, these ends do not cost the player money and can be visited at almost any time. There are no items in the demo for replenishing the entire party's stats while outside of the town. Both towns in the demo have shops for purchasing healing items, weapons, and equipment such as armor and shields. Equipping new weapons and armor boosts your character's stats such as maximum hit points, physical attack strength, physical defense, accuracy, speed, and evasion. Battles occur during story events and random encounters outside of town. One unique game mechanic is path actions. Each character has a unique path action. The path action for Primrose is a lure. Using her dancing abilities, she can charm an NPC into following her around. This occurs both during the story to advance the plot and during regular gameplay. When alluring an NPC, you can see a 1 to 5 star rating for the character's overall value and a description of unique abilities. After alluring an NPC, Primrose can use a command in battle called Support to summon the NPC to assist in combat. Some NPCs perform unique attacks, while others may perform healing and stat boost abilities. Ulbrich's path action is Challenge. He can challenge most NPCs to a one-on-one duel. This results in a battle that may be necessary to advance the plot, or simply for fun and gaining experience points. Ulbrich can challenge almost everyone. Be careful though, I found out the hard way that the barmaid is the most powerful NPC in Cobblestone. I had to grind for experience points and level up before defeating her. The game's battle system is turn-based, with your character selecting commands from a menu. This system is the core of the classic Final Fantasy franchise. Your character can perform physical attacks, use skill points to perform abilities, defend, use items, and flee. Abilities are Octopath Traveler's version of spells. Characters have a set number of skill points for performing abilities that vary between powerful attacks on a single enemy, a less powerful attack on multiple enemies, or buffs to increase physical or elemental damage. For the demo, the Fire Soul Stone is the only item that allows you to perform an elemental attack on an enemy. While the battle system is in many ways traditional or retro-inspired, there are unique mechanics that make battle very exciting and fun. Enemy characters have at least one weakness to particular weapons such as swords or daggers, or elemental attacks such as fire. Some enemies have more than one weakness. Performing an attack on an enemy with a weapon that they are weak against reveals the enemy's weakness in shield points. Shield points represent the enemy's guard level with a number. For example, an enemy with a weakness to swords and 5 shield points can withstand 5 sword attacks before their guard is broken. Enemies suffer more damage from attacks that hit their weaknesses. Breaking an enemy's guard causes them to miss a turn, allowing for you to strike again or to use an item or stat boost ability. The most unique and rewarding aspect of Octopath Traveler's battle system is Boost Mode. Every turn your character accumulates a boost point. Pressing the R button allows you to use 1 boost point. Your character begins to emit a bright, swirling light of energy. During a boost, both physical attacks and abilities have greater potency, allowing for more powerful attacks and stat buffs. If you choose not to use your point on your turn, you can store it for the next turn. You can stack your boost by saving up multiple points and pressing R more than once. You can use up to 3 boosts per character on a single turn, and can store up to 5 boosts per battle. Boost points do not carry over from battle to battle, with the meter resetting after every battle. Pulling the right trigger on the Nintendo Joy-Con to boost my character is very satisfying, with the stunning visuals of my character powering up for an attack. The demo features the first 2 chapters of 2 separate stories. Primrose Azelhart is the daughter of a nobleman who is betrayed and murdered before her as a child. She grows up in pursuit of her father's murderers, a group of men with crow tattoos. She disguises herself as a dancer. Working for a cruel and perverted master named Helganish, she suffers his unwarranted advances and abuse. Despised by her fellow dancers for her superior looks and dancing skills, she finds friendship only in one of her fellow dancers, Yusufa. Working at a tavern in the desert city of Sandstone, she waits for clues to pick up the trail of her foes. Ulbrich Eisenberg is a top general in the army of the King of Hornburg. In the midst of a major battle, Ulbrich single-handedly defeats many enemy soldiers. A legendary warrior, Ulbrich is dubbed by his enemies and his fellow soldiers as the Unbending Blade. After reinforcement arrives to take his place on the battlefield, he decides to check on his king. Upon returning to the king's camp, he finds that the king's guard has all been murdered by his right-hand man, Erdhart. Ulbrich witnesses Erdhart kill the king before facing him and losing in a duel. Surviving the battle, he loses his place in the world without his king and his post. He travels the world as a hired sword before settling in the town of Cobblestone. Living under a shortened version of his full name, Berg, he lives in obscurity with no one knowing his true identity. He trains the local villagers to fight and protects them from local bandits. A young boy named Philip looks up to Ulbrich, who he views as a substitute father figure. I really enjoyed the music of Octopath Traveler. In particular, the game's main theme and battle music stand out as memorable orchestral pieces. The music really fits the setting for both quests. The voice acting is high quality and definitely helps build immersion.
My customers are waiting for their entertainment!
From explosions to swordplay, the sound effects also resonate with a high degree of production value. After completing the storyline for each character, you gain access to the village of the other character. You can find and recruit the other character, and complete additional side quests. Some side quests can only be completed by combining both characters' unique path actions. I found it very interesting that I completed one side quest by using Primrose's Allure ability to reunite a brother and sister. In a different play session, I ended the same side quest by having Ulbrich challenge the brother. This gave me a different ending to the side quest, in which the brother left town and I was unable to reunite him with his sister. This seems to hint at multiple approaches to situations using different character path actions with different outcomes and potential consequences. This created a level of depth to the game that I greatly admire and appreciate. When playing the demo for Octopath Traveler, I could not help but feel a massive wave of nostalgia for the Squaresoft RPGs of the 1990s. I struggled to think about what game this demo reminded me of most. Perhaps Final Fantasy VI, an epic RPG of the early 90s with a blend of magic and steampunk-style technology? The 2D sprites and oppressive atmosphere reminded me of that game. The story also shares a variety of characters with unique backstories. Yet, Final Fantasy VI does not serve as the most apt comparison, as Final Fantasy games feature mostly linear stories. Maybe Chrono Trigger, another classic RPG with multiple characters, beautiful sprite work, and less linear gameplay? Like Chrono Trigger, Octopath Traveler features a battle system that focuses on leveraging the abilities of each party member in battle. I just don't know if Octopath Traveler will feature time travel as a game mechanic or story element. While Chrono Trigger offers a multitude of endings created by a variety of choices and a more open-world experience, the game does not offer the choice of multiple quests at the outset of the game. That distinction belongs to a later title released by Squaresoft. The game that emerges from the mists of the past that seems most similar to me is Saga Frontier. Released in 1997 by Squaresoft for the original PlayStation, Saga Frontier features the stories of 7 different characters. The player may select any of the characters at the start of the game, just like Octopath Traveler. Finishing a character's quest allows the player to select another quest with important in-game decisions, permadeaths, and the order of completion of the quest, all impacting the game's ending. Due to a rushed development cycle, the final game contains many unused assets, including an unfinished additional quest for an 8th protagonist named Fuse. The blend of 2D and 3D in Octopath Traveler most reminds me of the art style used in Saga Frontier. Of course, the Unreal Engine 4 allows for an entire world of lighting effects and incredibly detailed 3D models, vastly beyond the capabilities of the original PlayStation. Personally, I think an addition to the Saga Frontier or Romancing Saga series is overdue. The last Western release title, Romancing Saga, was a remake of the original game that released in 2009 for the PlayStation 2. The series continued in Japan with the most recent game, Saga Scarlet Grace, coming out last year for the PlayStation Vita, in celebration of the series' 25th anniversary. The original series, known in Japan as Romancing Saga, featured the random enemy encounters found in the Final Fantasy series and Octopath Traveler. Those games were released in the United States for the original Game Boy as the 3 Final Fantasy Legend games. While the name Final Fantasy carries more recognition in the West, I believe that Square Enix should retitle Octopath Traveler to Saga Frontier and reboot the franchise. The distinct non-linear story with branching and intersecting paths, combined with an open world to explore in Octopath Traveler, best matches those qualities from the Saga Frontier series. Thanks for watching my review. I plan to feature more RPGs in future videos. Please let me know if you agree or disagree with my review by commenting below, or visiting us at McGeeTV.com, or on social media at McGee_TV on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, check out Evan and myself on Twitch at McGee_TV and XX Gaming. Finally, please like and subscribe for future content. And as always, thanks for tuning in.